Today, Brother Sammy's been talking about avoiding pitfalls. He was doing it for the past few weeks. And Sister Jeannie reminded me about speaking a little bit about our eating and our nutrition, our backing up all of our prayer and expectations for God to perform in our lives by doing our parts, okay? So I wanted to just address, this is something I've been listening to our conversations between Zalik and myself during the week, and you know, in the last few weeks especially, we've been turning it up, okay? A lot of Dr. Wallach's information he's distributed is awesome. If you haven't seen any of the videos, those are on YouTube. I'm not mocking what you said about YouTube, but they are very informative. We can use that. But one of the things that he keeps on going over is, you know, eating gluten-free, cutting the sugar out. These are two of his major deals, okay? But in our conversations, it was almost, and fried food. Those are like the big three right there. Sugar out, gluten, try to avoid as much as possible, and
all wheats, all grains, all
fried food, boom. Well, this isn't, when you're used to eating foods that have gluten, some sugar, when you're used to having some fried foods, this is not the easiest thing to just boom, jump right into it. And in our house, we did experience, because we did, you know, wheat products we've had all along. So Zalika, being the one who handles most of the food, the cooking for the children, you know, it was a source for a moment, a challenging stress in our lives. So one of the things that came out of my mouth this past week, and see, God's shown me for years through my bodybuilding, that when I want to do my best, and you all see me when I have my lunchbox with me, I've already prepared ahead of time. God's shown me a problem ahead of time, and I'm going to avoid that problem, avoid the pitfall, that later on I may not be back in my own kitchen to be able to eat. So the nugget for today is, if you're not doing at least 1 or 2 days a week where you just set aside an hour, I'm speaking even to, it doesn't matter, teenagers, it doesn't matter, help your mom out at the house to prepare a vat of rice, or a bunch of sweet potatoes, right? Or a bunch, cut up some salad, because I know Jennifer the other day made us a salad. It was awesome, you know, but you shouldn't have to do all of that if a lot of it's already prepared, you know, in the fridge. So the nugget for today is taking a day or two during your week to prepare ahead of time. Ziploc some baggies with some, maybe some dried fruit with a few nuts in it. But have a bunch of them, so when you run out that door, you can grab them, throw them in your purse, or have them in the car with you, or at your job. Or the great bread that Tina and Domini made today for everybody. If you take that formula that they made, and have a few of those prepared ahead of time. Okay? Avoid the pitfall, because what's going to happen is, you can look at Zalika and ask her how many times at the end of the day, coming home, it's late, there's no dinner made, and something has to get bought on the way home. And man, you're just going right into, it's going to be a problem, it's going to be a challenge right there. Yes?
But even taking an hour after Bible study and making Sunday a day to prepare for the rest of the week, I mean, we've been doing it for the past 6 weeks now, 5 weeks?
As a family, we go together shopping, we go home, and they all have their own little tasks. Like one might be washing the vegetables, one might be rinsing the oats. We go to the grocery store together, and then just to get Domini's meals ready so she can show John. I mean, we know, because it's part of it. She has to learn all of it.
Right.
But
it's accountability. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
She's qualifying herself. She's qualifying herself rather than entitlements without. I mean, she's got a lot to say. She's a very intelligent, wisdom type woman here. Who's going to listen to her if she wants to talk nutrition? If she's really nutritionally bound up, she doesn't have the right wisdom. That's going to abort all of what she says, even though she could be right in other areas. She starts talking about something. If he looked like Jabba the Hutt's kid, and he's talking about bodybuilding and stuff, who's going to be listening?
No, and nutrition's always changing. So like I went to school and studied nutrition.
Yes.
And this is new. Like I even made a mistake. I brought something about barley in here.
That's
and husk barley. Husk barley because it was on it was on Dr. Oz, and it's if you were hungry, you should have this. And I was making it for us, just thinking it was one of the gluten-free grains you can have. And I went back and I said, oh my, they said you can't have it. I didn't really know. I mean, honestly, I've studied this for years and years and years, but nutrition is always changing, so we have to keep educated as the things change. We watch the cycles in nutrition. We have, like, sometimes people follow high protein, then they don't do protein, then they do. I mean, the cycles are always changing, but it's up to us to educate ourselves and find out what is not just current, but what is accurate, because there's a difference between current and what is accurate.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I know Wallach has been through it, in the trenches for 30 years.
He's still in it.
And still in it. The government's trying to shut him down nonstop. He's fought him 7 times and won. Okay? So we're out there, same thing. I'm one-on-one with people for 30 years. So I know what's going to get the job done. I celebrate Domini. It's 14 pounds in the past few weeks, by the way. So she's knocked off 14 pounds. So just by doing the right things. So one more thing I want to mention, but that's the nugget, is a little food prep of some sort. Barbecue up a bunch of meat. Don't let the fire touch that meat, though. Don't torch it up, right? But barbecue up a bunch of meat today for your week. Have a bunch of chicken and a piece of good Tupperware in the fridge. You can just grab and go. Zap it somewhere. I mean, it's better than going out and trying to buy something when you're already hungry and it's an hour and a half past when you should have ate.
Jennifer made a roast the other night with organic potato, carrots. That roast, I came home and it was like 10:30. That roast tasted so good. It would melt in your mouth. But it was boiled. It was a roast in a crock pot with all the vegetables in it. So all that juice has got the purest vegetable, the oil's in the juice. It's in there. I mean, all the nutrients and the minerals that could be in there is there because it's boiled and it's left in the juice. You never drain the juice. It's all in the juice.
We were really thankful last week, by the way, when a lightning bolt took out the transformer from our house. Jennifer was quick. She had us on over the house, prepared food for it. It was beautiful, man.